Hey y'all, it's your favorite healing coach, Coach Kim, the author, here with part 3 of things we're not doing in 2023. Apologizing. Not just any old apologizing. We are no longer apologizing for belonging, for changing, for taking up space, for walking in our gifts, and for living our lives our way. We're no longer apologizing for doing what you want to do that ain't got nothing to do with nobody else, for not doing what you don't want to do because it ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. I talk a lot about generational patterns because I become able to see that a lot of the things that I have issue with came from the way my parents conditioned me, from the ways they were conditioned. So for me to not want to tell people no, even when I want to, is because I was conditioned to show love by denying myself, sacrificing myself, showing up for others, even if I didn't want to, because they wanted me to. And I needed them to know I cared about them. And if I did say no, I had to practice in my mind a good excuse, something that they would receive as acceptable, so they wouldn't think I was rude or uncaring. And even when they accepted my answer, I'd still feel guilty for not showing up for them, or I'd worry that they were upset with me, and I'd go back and forth with myself on whether or not I should just do what they wanted me to do to make sure they didn't get upset and somehow jeopardize the relationship. I literally put myself through this anxiety because I was taught to be there for others more than I was there for myself, even if they didn't do the same for me. Because the same people I didn't want to say no to had no problem saying no to me, or saying yes and not following through, and then saying they forgot or not saying anything at all. And I wouldn't bring it up because history and patterns had taught me that if I say to them that their actions upset me, they would manage to turn it around and be upset with me for being upset with them. And I was so concerned with not having anyone upset with me that I didn't see the depth of the manipulation. And in some cases, they had been manipulated this way for so long that it was natural for them to respond like this. Meanwhile, in the words of my youngest son, I'm feeling like hot trash because I'm trying to love my neighbor as myself, but I didn't even love myself. I was loving my neighbor, my parents, my spouse, my friends, the way I wanted them to love me. But more often than not, they don't even pick up on it. They just take the love you're given and run with it. And when you look up and finally decide that in order to get what you've been giving everyone else, you have to stop and give it to yourself first. That's usually when folk get upset with you, because to say yes to yourself probably means saying no to them a lot. But that's okay. Do it anyway. It'll feel foreign at first, but it's not meant with malice. You're not intending to hurt anyone. You only want to be there for yourself, and that's okay. And if you have to explain that for them to understand, do that too. You know, my husband told me a long time ago that he couldn't read my mind, and neither can our friends and family and coworkers and colleagues. We just have to say, hey, I'd love to do that, but I'm not going to have time. I'm not going to be able to make that. I'm already committed elsewhere. Yeah, not this time, but thank you. And if elsewhere happens to be your couch in your living room with snacks and a movie, that is not a lie, okay? Because I had someone tell me that I wanted them to lie when I suggested that they say that. But 1, it's not a lie. 2, our commitments are our business. And 3, we have got to stop feeling like we owe people an explanation, like we owe them more than a simple, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I don't want to commit my time and my money to that. No, thank you. I don't want to. And when they ask why, as if I owe them a reason, I literally found myself looking at people like, I'm sorry, what? And they're like, why? And I'm like, why don't I want to? And with all the audacity in the world, they're like, yeah, why don't you want to? And even though it takes time to get here, I have come to stand 10 toes down in my answer. Because I don't want to. And if they still insist on asking why, they get the same answer. Like, is it reality TV, social media? What has turned us into this society where we feel everyone needs to justify to us why they do what they do, why they don't do what they do, why they are the way that they are? When I was a child, all the adults would be like, because I said so. Maybe we should just go back to because I said so. Okay. I feel like I'm going off on a tangent, and I apologize for going off on a tangent because your time here with me is valuable, and I appreciate you for that. And going forward, only apologize when you've hurt or betrayed or disrespected or disappointed someone, but not for doing what's best for you and your family and your dreams and your goals. Not for living your life the way that works for you, and certainly not for being who God made you to be. Apologize when it's necessary. And apologizing for being you is absolutely unnecessary. So until next time, stay blessed.